people at the bus stop thought they had misheard her. But the tiny girl in the pink worn-out coat, sitting alone in her wheelchair, really had whispered those heartbreaking words. "Mom. Are you coming back?" The cold winter wind pushed her hair across her pale face as she looked left and right, searching, hoping, begging with her eyes for someone, anyone, to answer. No one did. Except him. Ethan Hale, the most feared, most ruthless CEO in the city, was on his way to fire a regional manager when he stepped out of his car and saw her, shivering, alone, clutching a small backpack shaped like a star. He had built empires, shattered competitors, and survived a childhood filled with abandonment. Nothing scared him. But that little girl did. Because she looked exactly like he once did, left behind by someone who should have loved him. And without thinking, the man known for being cold and heartless took a step toward her. And then another. Until he was close enough to hear her whisper again. "Mom, please come back." The girl with the star backpack. The bus stop was crowded, yet strangely silent as Ethan approached. The girl seemed no older than 7. One of her legs was in a brace, the kind that required physical therapy and care. Her wheelchair squeaked as she shifted nervously, glancing at the road as if expecting a miracle. Ethan crouched beside her. "Are you okay?" he asked gently, surprising even himself with the softness in his voice. Her head snapped upward. Big brown eyes, full of fear, hope, and confusion, met his. "She said she would only take a minute," the girl whispered. "She said she'd come back." "How long have you been waiting?" Ethan asked. The girl glanced at the sky. "Since the sun was up there. Before the clouds." Ethan's chest tightened. "That was hours." "What's your name?" "Lila," she said quietly. "My mom left because I'm too slow. Because I can't walk like other kids." The words hit him like a punch. Before he could respond, a woman nearby leaned in and murmured, "Sir, the mother got on a bus an hour ago, alone. It didn't look like she planned to return." A cold anger spread through Ethan's body. He turned back to Lila, whose lips were trembling. Is she coming back?" she asked. Ethan swallowed hard. "No. But I will help you. You're not alone." The lonely CEO who never smiled. Ethan Hale had a reputation. Employees whispered that he had no heart. That he lived alone in a mansion built more like a fortress. That he spent his nights reading financial reports instead of living life. Few knew the truth. He grew up in an orphanage after his parents vanished from his life without explanation. He survived on scholarships, part-time jobs, and sheer determination. He built his company from nothing, but in doing so, lost every piece of softness he once had. Until today. Until Lila. As he gently lifted her backpack into his car, she looked up hesitantly. "Am I trouble?" she whispered. "No," Ethan said firmly. "You're someone who deserves safety." "What if my mom doesn't want me anymore?" Ethan hesitated, then said the words he wished someone had once said to him. "That is not your fault." Lila's eyes filled with tears, and that was the moment Ethan realized his life was about to change forever. The hospital revelation. At the hospital, doctors ran tests, checked her brace, and examined her legs. Ethan paced anxiously outside the room. When Dr. Miriam arrived with the results, she looked troubled. "This child needs consistent therapy," she said. "Her condition is treatable, but neglect has made it worse. If she's left without care again, she may lose more mobility." Ethan clenched his fists. "I won't allow that." "Are you her guardian?" the doctor asked. He paused. In every business meeting, he always had an answer prepared. He always knew the next step. This time, he didn't. But looking at Lila's small figure sitting inside the room, swinging one leg gently as she hugged her backpack, he realized something. For the first time in years, he cared. "Yes," he said. "If that's what she needs, then yes. I'll take responsibility." Challenges they faced. 1. Lila's fear of being abandoned. She woke up crying for weeks. Every time Ethan left a room, even for a moment, she panicked. "Are you coming back? Will you forget me? Do you also think I'm too slow?" Her questions broke him. So he began leaving notes for her on the bedside table. "I'll be right back. I'm in the kitchen. I will never leave you." One night she handed him a drawing, two stick figures holding hands. "You can keep it," she said shyly. "So you won't forget me." He bit the inside of his cheek to stop himself from crying. 2. Ethan's battle with his own past. Helping Lila forced Ethan to face memories he had buried for decades. The empty bed in the orphanage. The nights he waited for parents who never returned. The birthdays no one celebrated. His therapist told him, "You're not just saving her. She's saving you." He didn't know what that meant, until later. 3. Public backlash. When news leaked that the powerful CEO was caring for an abandoned child, tabloids exploded. Is he trying to fix his reputation? Is this just a publicity stunt? Who is the child to him? Lila saw the headlines and panicked. "They want you to send me back, don't they?" "No," he said, kneeling in front of her. "I choose you." Those words slowly rebuilt the world she had lost. The MOM returns. 3 months later, when Lila had already begun therapy and had grown stronger and happier under Ethan's care, her biological mother suddenly appeared. She marched into Ethan's office, demanding her child back. "She's mine," the woman shouted. "I only left her because life was hard." Ethan kept his voice calm. "You abandoned her at a bus stop without food or safety. That kid is a burden," she snapped. "She slows my life. But now that you're involved, I know she's worth money." Security had to escort her out. Lila heard the shouting from outside the office. She trembled in fear until Ethan rushed to her side. "Is she taking me away?" she cried. "Never," he said. "Not while I breathe." Ethan hired the best lawyers. Child Protective Services reviewed the case. The conclusion was clear. Lila should stay with the men who loved, protected, and cared for her, not the woman who abandoned her. The final court hearing. On the day of the decision, Lila held tightly onto Ethan's hand. "If they say I have to leave, will you still remember me?" He knelt in front of her. "Lila, if the entire world tried to take you away, I would fight every single one of them." Her eyes glistened with trust. When the judge finally declared Ethan her legal guardian, Lila threw her arms around him. "You came back for me," she whispered. "Always," Ethan answered. The inspiring ending. 3 years later, Lila walked, on her own, across the stage at her school's talent show. The audience erupted into applause. Ethan stood among the crowd, tears streaming down his face, clapping harder than anyone. Lila looked at him proudly and said into the microphone, "This is for the men who taught me I wasn't hard to love. My dad." Ethan's heart shattered and healed all at once. For all his wealth, power, and success, this moment was the greatest victory of his life. Powerful message. Family isn't defined by blood. It's defined by who stays, who fights for you, and who chooses you each day. Ethan saved Lila from abandonment. But Lila saved him from loneliness. And together, they proved that sometimes the most unexpected people can change your life forever. The first night Lila spent at Ethan Hale's mansion was nothing like she imagined. From the outside, the place looked like a palace: marble steps, tall glass doors, warm lights glowing through enormous windows. The world would assume a child would be thrilled, excited, dazzled. But Lila wasn't. She was terrified. The minute Ethan wheeled her into the living room, her small hands tightened around the arms of the wheelchair. Her eyes darted from corner to corner, overwhelmed by the size, the silence, the unfamiliarity. "Is this your house?" she whispered. "Yes," Ethan said softly. "And now it's yours too." Her throat bobbed as she swallowed nervously. "It's too big. I'll get lost. And then you won't find me." Ethan felt that. Deeply. He knelt beside her. "Lila. I will always find you. Every time." She nodded, but not with understanding, only politeness. The truth was, she didn't believe it yet. The nightmare. At midnight, the house was quiet. Too quiet. Ethan walked past Lila's new room, painted soft pastel colors by his staff in a rush to welcome her. He peeked inside. She wasn't in bed. His heart jumped. He found her curled in a corner of the room, hugging her star-shaped backpack to her chest, trembling. Lila, he knelt instantly. Sweetheart, what's wrong? She flinched at the sound of his voice before recognizing him. I thought you left. You didn't say goodnight. People leave when they don't say goodnight. Ethan closed his eyes. Those words echoed with memories of his own childhood, waiting by the door for parents who never returned. He gently lifted her into his arms. I'll say goodnight every night. I promise. Even if I'm slow. Even if you were slower than the turtle in the backyard. A tiny smile drifted onto her lips. There's a turtle here. There is now, he said. We'll get one. And you'll name it. She finally relaxed enough to rest her head on his shoulder. And that night, he stayed beside her bed until she fell asleep, something no one had ever done for him when he was her age. A CEO who never knew how to be a father. For the next few weeks, Ethan's life changed completely. He woke up earlier to help Lila prepare for therapy sessions. He learned how to braid her hair, not perfectly, but enough to make her giggle. He started keeping snacks in his office drawer because she constantly opened it hoping to find something fun. He even put stickers on his expensive laptop because she insisted it looked sad. But there were challenges too. He didn't know how to read bedtime stories without sounding like he was reading a contract. He had no idea cartoons had so many episodes. And he definitely didn't know what to do when she cried over small things, like a broken crayon or a shoe that didn't fit her brace. Every time she cried, he panicked. What do I do? Do you want ice cream? A pony? A new chair? A cupcake? All of them. Lila would sniffle and whisper, just sit with me. And he would. Because deep down, he understood her pain more than anyone. Lila's first day at school. 3 weeks after moving in, Lila was scheduled to begin at a new school. Ethan prepared everything, custom wheelchair padding, extra therapy breaks arranged with the principal, and a lunchbox filled with her favorite carrot sticks and tiny sandwiches cut into stars. But Lila was frozen at the door. What if no one wants to sit with me, she whispered. They will, Ethan said. What if they laugh at me because I can't run like them? They won't. What if no one picks me for games? He hesitated. Kids could be cruel. He knelt in front of her wheelchair. If anyone makes you feel left out, you tell me. I'll come, and I'll talk to them. Her eyes widened. You'll come to school for me. In a heartbeat. She reached out slowly and held his hand. Okay, she whispered. But when they arrived, things didn't go the way Ethan hoped. The lunchtime incident. It happened on the very first day. Ethan received a call from the school while he was in a board meeting. Mr. Hale, the teacher said nervously. There's been an incident. He didn't even wait to hear the rest. He stood up in the middle of the meeting and walked out, shocking his entire executive board. When he reached the school cafeteria, he found Lila alone at a table, her lunch untouched, tears streaking her face. What happened? Ethan asked, voice trembling. The teacher sighed. Some kids said she's too slow to play with them. One said her wheelchair made her weird. Ethan looked at Lila, who wouldn't lift her head. He knelt beside her. Lila, look at me. She didn't. Sweetheart, please. When she finally raised her eyes, his heart cracked. I told you, she whispered. I told you no one wants slow people. His hands gently cupped her cheeks. Slow does not mean less. Slow does not mean unworthy. Slow does not mean forgotten. Do you understand me? Her lips quivered. But they didn't want me. I do, Ethan said. And I always will. They will learn. We will teach them. How? She whispered. By showing them who you truly are. Teaching courage. For the next few days, Ethan came to school during lunch. Some kids stared. Some parents whispered. But he didn't care. He sat beside Lila, talked to her, laughed with her, drew silly doodles on napkins, and encouraged her to greet other kids softly. And slowly, slowly, it worked. A little boy eventually sat next to her. Then a girl joined. Then two more. One day, Ethan peeked into the classroom and saw Lila helping another girl button her jacket. She wasn't being ignored anymore. She was being seen. When Ethan tried to quietly leave, Lila noticed and waved excitedly. "You came back," she whispered from across the hall. He smiled. Always. A shadow returns. Just when Lila began to bloom, the past reappeared. One crisp afternoon, as Ethan loaded groceries into the car while Lila sat humming inside, a familiar voice cut through the air. "Well, well, look who's living the good life." Ethan turned sharply. It was her. Lila's biological mother. Her makeup was smudged, her clothes wrinkled, but her eyes gleamed with something sharp: opportunity. She glanced inside the car and smirked. "Hey, Lila." Lila froze. Panic swallowed her face. "Mom." Ethan stepped between them immediately. "What do you want?" he asked coldly. "I want my daughter back," she snapped. "You stole her from me. You abandoned her. So. She's mine." Lila whimpered inside the car. Ethan took a slow breath. "You're not taking her." "We'll see about that," the woman hissed. "I'm her mother. And the court will believe me now that you turned her into a little princess." She turned and stormed away, shouting over her shoulder. "You haven't seen the last of me." Lila burst into tears. Ethan rushed into the car and held her. "She's taking me away, isn't she?" she cried. "Please don't let her. Please don't let her." "Lila," Ethan whispered, heart shaking with every word, "I will protect you. I will fight for you. No one will take you from me. Promise." He held her tighter. "I promise."